And welcome in everyone to the Challenge After Show. The challenge isn't airing right now, but that's not stopping us for talking all challenge gossip, news, and just fun stuff. And tonight it's one of those fun stuff things, and we're doing our top 5 challengers of all time. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's going to be on YouTube for a little bit, then it's going to go over onto Patreon. Please comment below your favorite challengers. And we would love that. We would love to respond to those answers as well.
Please.
I'm here with Pam, and we're gonna do it snake draft style, where we're just gonna be going like a snake through this whole thing. We're all gonna give our top 5, top 4, top 3, top 2, honorable mentions, and then top 1. Yeah?
Got it. And that's why I had to look down just now, because I just had my top 5, but I didn't necessarily have them in order. So I had to like copy and paste and rearrange my top 5 a little bit. But I'm excited because let me preface it by saying this was really hard for me to do, not only to narrow it down because it's just about favorite for entertainment purposes, but there was a lot of factors to weigh in, like, well, this person was a boss ass competitor, but she kind of was an asshole. So I don't really want her to be in my top 5. So I had a hard time narrowing it down based off of just like all of the elements of picking somebody, but also because there's been so many people that I really liked, but may have remembered differently. And I've recently watched some seasons again. I'm like, oh, they weren't as likable. They weren't as like cool as I remember. They were problematic. And as you guys know, there's like a shit ton of problematic cast members in the whole past of the challenge. This entire series has like a lot of problematic people in the past. So that made it really hard being like, wait, I like this person because of this, but oh shit, they did that. So I can't really put them in my top 5.
Yeah, and I may have put them in my top 5 anyways based on that. So it's interesting that you bring that up, because I did think about that. But I just liked them so much when they were on it. It was hard not to. But yes, I got texts from both you ladies today saying how hard it was to pick your top 5 and the struggle that you were going through. So I think it's great. Pam, how did your top 5 go? Is it okay? Is it good?
So not unlike, well, first of all, I picked up on it, but as not a sport, so a snake draft, that just means we're going to go round robin. Is that what a snake draft?
I'll just call it. You're in the middle, Pam, so you have it the easiest. You're all set. We have you going second, so you're fine.
Okay. All right. Good to know. It's not like running from someone that's shooting at you. You want to go like vertical, like a snake.
It will be kind of like a snake. So what's gonna happen? It's gonna go Jenna, you, me again, you, Jenna, Jenna again, and so on.
Got it.
We're in the middle. Yes. You're all set.
Okay. So I also didn't have mine in order, but it was really easy. It was hard picking them, and it was really easy to put them in position though once I had them picked, because I also didn't, and I was like, oh, easy, 5, 4, 3.
Like I wrote them down, and then I literally today I was like, all right, I got to put them in some type of order. I had the 5 that I wanted, but I had to finalize it. So it's gonna be fun. All right, so let's get right into it, and we'll start with Jenna. And Jenna, your number 5 slot. So we're going from our technically least favorite all the way down.
Of our top 5.
But they made the top 5, which is insane, because there's been probably, how many challenges did you say have ever been on? 1,000 people? Ooh, that seems like a lot, maybe less. But
no, I think more.
It's exactly to your point. There's so many people that it's crazy to try to narrow it down to 5. And I think that we should keep this going with like more specifications. Like, okay, best athletes, best trash talker, most entertaining, most likable, most hateable, like shit like that, because all of that made it really hard to pick just 5.
This is kind of the overall, and then we can always break it down to the different categories for sure in other episodes.
But this I think is kind of cool too, because I had my sister over earlier. My fiance watches the challenge too. Like, we're all diehard fans. And it's just so interesting. Somebody who was in my top 5, they're like, hell no, I would never put that person in mine. That's why it's really cool, because every person is unique for whatever reason, you know, like people just hit others differently.
I don't think that we're going to match that much. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think we're going to have a lot of variety here. And I'm very excited to see who you girls put in it. So.
I think I can guess a few in each of yours.
Me too. And I think there's like 1 or 2 that we all like. It's a few and far between that we're all like, yes, they're the best. But I think there's one that might show up in more than one of ours. 1 or 2. So I'm really excited to see.
So with no further ado, what is the saying? Further
Without
ado?
further ado.
Without further ado. So my bottom spot is actually Veronica.
Ooh.
She is just like an OG. And I felt like maybe a little bit of bias from doing AfterBuzz played into my decision because we met her and she wasn't just who she was on TV. Like she was cool as hell. Like she hung out, went outside with us in the back after we filmed our show live, like talked with us for over an hour, answered all of our questions, was like authentic with everything. So I feel like she just is who she is. She's not playing up a character for TV, and she's a part of that OG group that they bring that to the show. That's what we all love. That's our nostalgia.
It's so funny you bring that up, Jenna, because we actually talked about that on the show last week about how awesome Veronica was. Because we were doing our All Stars, who we want to see on All Stars season 2, and Pam said she wanted to see Veronica because of all those reasons. So there you go.
Yes, I mean, I totally watched you guys last week, so that must have been where I got my inspiration. I'm sorry, I may have missed that episode or just that part, rather. That's
right. You just it glitched over the part, so that's the only reason.
Right.
Right now.
Exactly. So Veronica, my number 5.
And I do love when we're unanimous in someone, and like Veronica was a standout, cool girl. Like she was awesome. So yeah, I second it. I like it.
Pam, you're up.
Oh, I am. Okay, so this is how the snake works. So at number 5, okay, I have a few reasons why I picked Ashley Mitchell.
Damn.
Ashley Mitchell at number 5. Okay, so second highest prize money winner of the entire challenge ever after Bananas. Pretty impressive, pretty badass for someone that I would not consider particularly athletic. Second, she kind of creeps up at you and is athletic. She's hit or miss. She wound up obviously doing well in a lot of competitions. She's well-rounded. She winds up pulling her weight and doing well when push comes to shove. She's got good game. Good. She can kind of do everything. It's not like she's a standout at one thing or like the strongest, biggest, but she winds up doing everything pretty well. I also picked her because her personality obviously is great, but I am a complete flip-flop for her. I started off hating her for throwing tantrums and just being downright awful. And when she came in, I think she was from a dating part and she was new to me and I did not like her. And now she's one of my all-time favorites. So for those reasons, I'm picking Ashley Millionaire Mitchell for my number 5.
You know why Ashley and Bananas have the most money though, right?
Because they screwed people over.
They were the only 2 people to even be allowed to steal the money. So that is why, but also they've been around for a while and they have won in other times. So I do get where you're coming from there. But.
Yes, I mean, Ashley, in the research, it did say, remember she sabotaged her own team on the sports thing when they were playing for charity? Yes, Ashley is a lot, but she's entertainment value. She brings it.
I've been right about the variety so far because neither of those people are on my list. So this is, yeah.
I love that you picked her, Pam, actually, because she can get wild in a way that is unjustified, like her temper tantrums.
Oh, yeah.
However, she's iconic, like what she has brought to the show with her personality. People can sit on the couch and say like, oh, I hate her, she's crazy, all they want, but like they secretly are loving the fact that she's there to watch. So I love that you picked her because she is that like burst of just kind of craziness that is entertaining. So she brings something to the show for sure.
Yeah, she's crazy and fun. She's Smashley. And she's gone from Smashley to a millionaire from winning money, so that's great. And I do think that exactly with what you said with her being iconic, I think she knows she plays the reality TV game. I don't think everything is sincere, but I do believe she believes there is some authentic feeling behind it. I don't think she's just making up plot things for the camera. I think she's just a little all over the place. Whereas it seems like, how do you feel that way? And then that way, I mean, she's quit a few times. She's erratic. She's a hothead. But I think she does seem to me to have a sense of humor about knowing a game's a game. She'll she hooks up with people. She brings on it all. She brings the drama, the flavor, and I do think she has a sense of humor about herself, which is nice.
And she has really good like one-liners, good confessionals. Like she's funny in that way. She's definitely wittier than people give her credit.
If you want entertainment, you picked a good one with Ashley, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my number 5, I'm going to stay with the strong female competitors. I'm going with Diem. I'm throwing Diem in my number 5 spot. Yes. Not only for what she had to go through while she was on the show and how strong she had to be, not just in a game, but just dealing with ovarian cancer and all that stuff. But let's also talk about probably my favorite relationship to appear on the challenge, and that's her and CT. Because I watched the challenge not just for the hookups, but for the love stories that can happen. And they dated for like a year and a half off the show too. Like they weren't just a show romance. So for those reasons, she's in my number 5 spot. And I get to continue the snake draft into my number 4 spot now. And related to Diem, I had to throw in CT. My 4 spot.
Only got number 4?
Well, yeah, unfortunately, but he's so because you know what, honestly, when I first met CT in the real world Paris, I thought he was kind of a jerk.
And
he was
right, like he was a jerk.
So it took years and years for him to grow on me, and it probably started on the duel with Diem. When he showed up there, she had appeared the season before or so on Fresh Meat, and then they met on the duel, and that was like the best love story. And obviously, him picking up bananas in the backpack. Anyone that picks on bananas or picks up bananas with a backpack, he's just a great. CT's obviously a strong competitor, amazing at puzzles, very well rounded, etc., etc. I'll let you 2 jump in on the CT thoughts there. Yeah,
love it.
It's my turn with 4.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so at my number 4, I picked Darrell, and Darrell is number 4 for me because I'm really glad. One of the things that's super cool about All Stars also, in addition to it being fun, is that it reintroduced us. Darrell didn't do too much, even though he was on season 36. He kind of kept to himself. He didn't have a lot of conflict, and you didn't get to see his personality as much. So I liked All Stars to really get to see how freaking funny he is. I mean, we know he's a beast and he can do all this stuff and he's great, but I picked Darrell at number 4 because he's great. I went back over in the research. He's got he won 4 finals in his first 6 seasons. And he would have, they're saying, so had he not punched Brad and been sent home, people suspect he would have won 5. So he's got a good record for wins. Obviously a good competitor, but I'm just glad I got to know him in this All-Star season because he is funny and nice and seems someone that was an OG and sort of grew out of it, but can come back and be fun and bring it and bring the entertainment as being an adult just as much as everybody else.
He was
and
much
still
better.
Be in incredible shape. It sucks because he's just not a sprinter. And so when they put him in that dumbass elimination with Corey, it was like, damn, Darrell did poorly, because what's so great about Darrell is always knowing he's going to be great. Like you never want to go against him, sort of thing. And even though he was out of the game for a while and he's a little bit older than most of the younger cast now, it's like when Darrell shows up, like he's always going to perform and be awesome. So that's why that damn sprinting elimination sucked, because we actually got to see Darrell in a place where like he didn't kick ass, especially against somebody like Corey, where Darrell could have kind of humbled in that way.
I'm just glad he did All Stars, because in All Stars he was funny again. 36. He just kind of all of a sudden he was him in a elimination against Corey. I'm like, oh yeah, Darrell's on this season.
Right.
So, All Stars, I liked him a lot more.
Yeah, Darrell, I didn't watch his Campus Crawl, was his first season. I didn't watch it, so he was a new oldie to me when he came back on the show. So I for that reason, he's coming in at my number 4 spot.
Got it.
He's an all around good one.
So at my number 4 spot, I have Leroy, and he is just an unproblematic king, and he's always been one of my favorites. I feel like I really enjoy the contestants as much as I enjoy like the crazy, kooky, dramatic ones. I love picking up on the ones that I would love to just hang out with and actually be friends with in real life if I could. And he's one of those to me. I'm like, he just handles everything like with such grace and poise. Anything like he never gets heated. Like we've seen sometimes, and especially this past season was a different kind of Leroy. He definitely had a little bit more of a spark to him. Things started to get to him a little bit more, but he also was not playing around this season. He came in with one goal, and that was to win. He's never won before. So even though he was maybe like a little bit more edgy this season, I don't blame him for that. I'm still rooting for him, and that was fine. But yeah, he just all around is like so level-headed that I wish I could be on that level of just having that temperament. Like I've always respected him for that. He's always just handled everything with like not only being cool, calm, and collected, but also seeing like the humor in things.
Uh-huh.
Like, Leroy is just an awesome person. So that's why he is my number 4.
All right, and is it back at me now?
No, I go twice. Right?
She gets
okay.
her number 3 first.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oh God, this is hard. I'm going back and forth between who's my 2 and 3.
Oh wow. What letter comes first in the alphabet? Just go with them.
They're both the same letter.
No.
Hold on, let's guess.
Well, I mean, there's just.
All right, I'll just say it.
All
so
right,
I'm gonna go with Derek as my 3rd spot. He could have been higher. The reason I'm putting him 3rd is maybe because I have a little bit more love for number 2, just on like, again, sort of like, oh, I want to be that person's friend and I just enjoy them. But Derek, I mean, is just like all out beast of a competitor. I mean, what can I say about him that hasn't already been said? Like just saying his name speaks for himself. Like you see him go against someone 10 times his size in Cyrus and he kicks his ass. Like when he was on Gauntlet, it was either 2 or 3, he was team captain and he went in every damn elimination and just always won. And he's like half the size of every other man there. So he's just a total badass and his reputation precedes him. So he's awesome.
Was it he that went against Joss that one time and they the stick wrestling or whatever? Oh my God, that was insane.
Yeah. He's just like, Derek is always gonna take every battle to the head. Like he does not shy away from everything. He's in it. And and he's also like fun and dorky. So yeah, I like him.
Doesn't give up, huge heart. Yeah, plays with integrity too. Also unproblematic, like doesn't really have, other than earlier seasons where he was like had drunken fights. I don't think he's ever had real beef with anyone. Seriously, yeah. Plays like he's not doesn't rely on a click to. I love Derek too. Good. Yeah, I'm liking these.
Yeah. All right, Pam. Now it is your
number 3 coming in hot for me at number 3 is Cam.
Nice.
And Cam, for a million reasons, but if I had to boil it down to one, I think there are probably a handful of all-time most epic challenge iconic moments, like the backpack. You know, there's a few moments that will go down, everyone remembers. To me, Cam's mastermind of the entire house during, I don't know which season it was, 30 maybe.
I think it was one of those trilogy blocks.
30 Redemption House.
Yeah.
Where like it was so complicated that now I can't even remember the steps she took. It was like it was Redemption House one because she was partnered with Kay.
Kaylee. Right?
So Kaylee didn't even know, but she somehow got it. I don't even remember all the steps.
I cannot remember the plan either.
I mean, there were so many steps to it. How could you? And it was these all blend together half the time. It's hard, yeah.
But it all worked out the way she wanted it to, and that mastermind moment, I think, is like an all-time amazing challenge coup. And she doesn't also get. Everyone knows she's well-rounded and smart and good and as a good player. I think people value her, but like CT in the beginning of 36 being like, maybe it's like, no, you want Cam's the best. And I don't think her brains and strategy get as much credit as they're due, like just because it was easier to call them like Kara's cult because it had a nice ring to it in that season. I think Cam and Pauly together had a lot. I don't think Kara's a big mastermind at all. So I think Cam is a mastermind up there with a Wes, a Bananas, one of those. So she's my number 3.
Very nice. Coming in at my number 3 will be my controversial pick of the night.
Wait, can I guess?
Yo, I'd love for you to guess.
Well, no, he's not controversial. I was gonna say Devin because I know you just love Devin. He might be your number one.
The name starts with the same letter as your name, Jenna.
Oh, wait, Derek D.
No, J.
Oh, ooh, I don't know.
Jack. Just kidding.
The answer is Jordan. Jordan is my number.
Oh, yikes! Yeah.
Jordan, why are we saying Jordan?
What's that?
Why is Jordan? Okay, well, go ahead. Tell.
Well, he had that whole thing with Naya that they talked about in the on the Real World Portland when he was on there, and
Sure.
came back and they talked about it later on.
Yeah.
But no, he's a kick-ass competitor that went after bananas all those seasons, and I loved every second of it because if we break down our top 5 villains anytime soon, bananas will be my number 1. Not to give it away, but that's what will happen. So I love anybody. For me, he's my ultimate villain. So anyone that goes after bananas and wants to beat bananas at his own game gets on my list. It just happens that way. And Jordan was the guy to do that. Let's also remember that Jordan had that whirlwind romance with Tori, and I friggin' loved it because it's not just about performance on this show. It's about what do you give me when you're not doing a daily challenge, when you're not in elimination. And Jordan is also, remember, ladies, he's doing this with one friggin' hand, and he never complains about it. And he's a true underdog that never complains. How can he not be on my list? I know he had some issues and stuff like that, but him and Nia seem to have talked about that, and they went on social media together, and they kind of squashed all that and said they were friends. I feel like I saw them vacationing recently together.
I feel like
they're very close.
There were rumors that they were like hooking up right now. I don't know how real or true that is, but Nia was not nice to him.
They had a weird hookup on the Real World Portland, if you remember that season too.
Yes, so strange.
Well, to your point, Dan, about the little like spurt of being problematic that he had, I think it really does come down to him and Nia, mending that relationship. If they seem to get past it, and if they're like really, really close now, then I think that's what's important,
That's the way I look at it too, Jenna. Exactly.
Yeah, because maybe they have a little bit of like a brother-sister sort of relationship. I mean, again, it's not it's not or lover.
Yeah. Well, that
brother sister if they're the Lannisters, Jamie.
Right, exactly.
So in my number 2, Jenna, to bring up someone you already talked about me liking, that would be Devin. Yes, Devin is my number 2 for many reasons. I think he adds something different to the show that no one else does, the way that he talks and manipulates just verbally. He obviously went after bananas all those years ago. And so Devin is my number 2 for sure. Yes. Pam, you're number
7.
I'm up?
You're up.
Oh, okay. With 2, my number 2 is Jordan. Also, I love Jordan. If we're going back to the, well, first of all, he's amazing. And again, we don't want to say, oh, but he's a handicap, but he does. And it's amazing. And he's still better than everyone else. And then the reason I picked Jordan in the number 2 spot is my 3 reasons are this. 1, I'm all about the iconic moments. He had that flip where he went in to take bananas out on which season was that? I actually wrote it down, but now I don't remember.
One of the really good seasons.
Free Agents.
Yes, Free Agents was really good.
That's when he did the XXs. He pulled all the ones and went in against Banana and lost, which was iconic. Not the best plan, but still he put his money where his mouth is. Reason number 2, he beat Josh at tug of war. Enough said.
And he beat Zach at a sledgehammer elimination.
Oh, I forgot about
that. And yeah, we're not trying to discredit Jordan by bringing up like his handicap disability, but it's more inspiring. It's more to boast about. It just makes
it's like a tiny basketball player. You'd be like, and they're only 5'2". I mean, like it's that just all the more to their skill and strength that like some people are just closer to the net. So he's incredible. Incredible. And then also brought us lots of drama throughout the years, including his love story with Tori, which I found genuine, beautiful. And I think Jordan, if we're going to talk about personality, we've seen that he's someone that does make mistakes, in a lot of different ways, both on and off the field. But I think he's someone that also will genuinely take that and grow from it, which
I
is
think that is our first match of the evening, right? I think it's our first match.
Oh, they're about to start coming.
Oh,
because
Jenna, your
now-
number two.
yeah.
Your number two, Jenna, is.
Ooh,
My number 2 is Darrell.
Oh, there it
That's
is.
who I was back and forth. That was the matching D initial to the Derek D. Because I love them both. It was hard. I had Darrell in the number 2 spot originally. And then as I was about to say Derek, I was like, oh, but Derek is so good. Like,
Yeah.
should he maybe be number 2? Just because
yeah.
I don't want to say one is better than the other athletically, but I don't know. Derek, see, as soon as I try to say it, I'm thinking like, oh, Derek might have a little bit more of an edge than Darrell in like the one-on-one combat, but I don't know if that's true because Darrell is really badass in those situations as well. And he's a boxer. So he is really good at strategizing against one person in sort of like a 1v1 scenario. But Darrell, I mean, we talk about him week after week. He's just, everything about him is likable, from his athleticism to his personality, taking a joke, just being that person in the room that like diffuses the tension. He's just an all around like awesome person. And like I was saying earlier, he just always comes to play. So you always know like, oh, that person's going against Darrell. It doesn't matter if this was 2002 or 2021, like you're getting Darrell. So that's cool, so that he always has that. My first one.
Hold on. We got to do honorable mentions. Honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions. Okay.
So for the honorable mentions, before we get to our top pick of our challenges of all time, we'll just kind of just list the ones that you have. Yeah. And we can start with Jenna and go to me, but then we'll go to Jenna for you for your top one first, obviously.
Oh, okay. So I'm not just naming all of them.
Name all your honorable mentions just in a row. Then Pam, you go. Then I'll go. So
I have a lot.
Get into detail about them.
I have a lot of honorable mentions. I'll just say like a little blip about each, because this was the part I was really, really excited about to talk about, because I feel like the ranking system is kind of obvious. Like we all kind of knew like Darrell was probably going to be in most of ours, or like a CT, or you know, like the big notable ones. But the honorable mentions are cool because they're like right there, and there's just 1 or 2 reasons why they didn't make your top.
Yeah.
And they're also more like personable, like just people that I really enjoyed. So I had Jodie Weatherton, who was only on 3 seasons, who was just super athletic, also really cool, calm and collected, was just a total badass, but we didn't really see her a lot. So it sucks that she made an early entrance and exit. I put Abram because fucking Abram, dude, like he, oh my God, entertainment value. His like competitive drive, like Abram being on the show was awesome. I have Paula because rewatching some of the seasons, I was like, she was actually pretty athletic, and I don't know why. Looking back, I maybe wouldn't think of her that way, but going back and rewatching, I'm like, damn, Paula, you're like hanging with everybody. The reason why she wasn't in mine though is because she did have a moment that I really didn't like with her and Bananas. They were kind of ganging up on Cara Maria. I don't know if you remember that season when they were like pouring soda on her head. They were just being super shitty to her, and I felt like she was being kind of a bully. So she definitely has some problematic moments. I put Emily Schramm up there because beast mode, badass. I also listened to her podcast, but then she also had that problematic moment where she like painted her face black with Ty. Yeah,
I remember that.
I know. I don't even want to charge up the past, but it's still out there. But I think that, you know, it's not really my situation to forgive. You'd have to speak to like a Black person to how they feel about that. But it does seem like she didn't really know what that was because she grew up in a weird, funky, like culty childhood. And she's really like a beautiful person. So I don't know. It could have just been, you know, the moment. I also have Anissa, goes without saying, she's just a lover. And I had to stick Cara Lives in the honorable mention because you know what? My fandom of Cara has been a motherfucking journey. It has been a roller coaster. Like I loved her when I felt like all of my friends and everyone else hated her, when she was the sleeper, when, you know, she was still going in elimination after elimination. She was a little bit weird and quirky, her and Abram. I loved that Cara. Now she's just gone a little, woe is me.
The only Cara I liked was that one where she was the underdog and got thrown into a week after week, every elimination. That was the only one I liked. The only Cara version, only hair color I liked on Cara. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just loved her like funky pirateness, but then we all know she just got to be a little bit, I don't know if like the reality TV stardom got to her, but she just started to become like so complaining and woe is me. Like everything was like, this isn't fair. And it was like, what the fuck, Cara? Like, where did the other like competitor go? You know? So she started to just fall off a little bit. So I miss the past seasons of Cara. And then this last one is just for a blip because he also is kind of problematic. But he had this one episode. Tony's brother Shane.
Oh.
He had that one episode where he was like, I will vogue on you to his own brother. And he was like, you're about the drama, bro. I will dig in that pit, whip in that pit. And he was like an absolute icon for that one episode. But then he got into a fight with Simone. So he's also kind of problematic because I think he like scratched her face or something. So a lot of these people.
I can't believe he was even in he was like on one season. He was such a blip. What?
But
Hey,
that moment, Dan, that moment was life for me. Okay.
Yeah, if you remember a moment, that can do it. That can do it for you. All right, Pamela, let me hear some of your honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions, I'll breeze through them. I also said Abram because I love Abram / Cara Maria Days, both of their personalities. I put CT in because like I can't not have CT on my list, obviously.
Oh yeah. Oh, I figured out both y'all's
okay, so CT, I had Anissa, heart upon heart upon heart. Anissa is to me similar to Derek in that just lovable, will never give up, you know, will take a licking and keep on ticking. She's not as Terminator as Derek or as athletic, but she's been in a gazillion seasons. She always fights. And I think she's also really true to herself. And again, in terms of problematic with old things, lest we who is not problematic or has not been in their life. And if they're not, to me, it's how you handle your problematic and where you are with that today. Some people double down, some people say, wow, wrong. Glad I know that and learn. And I think everybody's had that. Anissa included. She had a problematic moment with Veronica. All right. Anyway, moving on. We don't need to talk about problems, but everybody's had one. All of these people, everybody. That's why I don't want to exclude unless they're still a shithead. Or continue to be a shithead, but Bananas, speaking of shitheads, love him or hate him, he's an integral part of the challenge. I don't like him, but I got to throw him an honorable mention. Corey.
Yeah, because you think he's so hot, right?
He's hot, but also Corey, like in his seasons, he's had probably 100 girlfriends, 3 babies, 2. Like he's Corey's legendary.
He is reality TV.
Wes, I gotta have a honorable mention for Wes in there. And Tori, who I love, I super love. Someone recently pointed out that every season Tori's been on, she is the first confessional of the season. Tori comes with personality, she competes, she's great. I like her. So those are my honorable mentions.
But before I get into my honorable mentions, I really think we should do a top 5 villains of all time. Who do we
next week or when the week
that would be so fun.
Yeah.
We do who we think are villains, because I think we all think different people are villains, and I think that is fun to do. Anyways, definitely. All right. I'm gonna really breeze through these honorable mentions. I've got The Miz down as an honorable mention. He was a beast back in the day. I've got Coral down. I loved them together on The Real World, going into the challenge together and doing all that stuff together. I've got Darrell. I've got my man Kyle, who we never even talked about tonight.
Oh
yeah. He's newer on the show, but he went from everyone hated him at first because of what he did to Cara, but I didn't like Cara, so I was like, he's hilarious with what he's doing to Cara right now, which is mean, but whatever. But now we've grown to love him because he's the lovable. He makes everyone laugh. I got Tori Deal. I've got Evelyn. Evelyn is probably one of the best female competitors ever to appear on the challenge, and she needs to be on All-Star Season 2. And then my last one is, you got to have Abram on there. This dude, he marked himself. If you remember, with like he just scarred his skin to the things that he was trying to work on with himself, like to know that he scarred himself to like say, I'm a better person now. I've gotten over these, whatever it was. He scarred his skin.
Talk about a list. Yeah.
Just an interesting dude. And he was, to me, he was Wes before Wes. He was my favorite cast member before Wes really got onto the show. Abram was my guy. But then I fell in love with somebody else, but we'll get into that in a second.
He's one of those who I really wish was still on TV, but I think he realized just like how stupid reality TV is and how bad it can be. Because I saw an interview that he did. It may have been with AfterBuzz, actually. This was before any of us started there. There was like a challenge event and he was being asked about reality TV and he was just like, God, this is just, it's so shitty. Like, I'm not doing it anymore. It's not good for society.
One of the after shows, probably the last after show he ever appeared on with Cara, and they had broken up and there was like drama behind. Remember they went backstage and there was drama. Like, I'm done with this. What am I doing in my life?
I love him, but he's problematic too. I mean, like all the cast, the world is. That's why it's like it goes sort of without saying. They're all problematic. But yeah, but
and Dan, thank you for bringing up Evelyn too. Oh, I forgot to put her on mine. She really wish that she stuck around longer than she did.
She wasn't on there quite long enough, but when she was there, she always dominated, and girls were like, could not even get close to what she was doing on the season she was on. All right, our number ones. Jenna,
number ones. Okay, number one. Don't call it cheating. It's a partnership because the theme of the season was being with a partner, and it was Battle of the Exes. So I have CT and DM together as one. I know, I cheated.
I gave them 2 spots. They took up 2 of my spots, Jenna.
I know I cheated, but they are one. They are one soul joined. Like you said earlier, their love story to me was more captivating than like any scripted romantic show, movie, or novel. Like they are Kate Winslet, Leonardo DiCaprio from Titanic, sort of icon level of love. Like I was so invested in their romance, and everybody was from the
whole world was. I mean, that's
the whole world was like they are a better love story than the movies. Again, some problematic moments, like CT. CT was absolutely a dick at times, but you were always rooting for them. And then when they got back together on X's, I just was like, every episode is like, we're CT and DM. Like I swear, I was just watching.
I would fast forward to those scenes, or I would just rewatch those. So I'd watch it all through. I would go back and just rewatch and fast forward to just their scenes to watch them again.
Oh, it's like I want to highlight reel of them. Yeah. So them together, like that's where it is, you know. So that's my number one. It's a little bit of cheating, but it's fine.
All right. Well, now I know everybody's. I know who Pam's is. I knew. Yeah, I know. Go ahead, Pam.
It's Kayla. No, I'm just kidding. It is. Just kidding. Coming in at number one, she is the first person to ever win an individual overall championship, eking out Zach with her for $1 million or something in Vendettas. She was part of the Abram duo that we love so much.
It's like you're giving her an award right now.
I'm giving her and she lives in our hearts, our souls, and hopefully an upcoming season. It is Cara Maria.
She lives.
Cara's been on 14 seasons. You know, she had 9 finals in her challenge career. She made it to maybe 1 or 2 wins or something. I don't even remember, but Cara's got to have a place up there. My journey also with her is a roller coaster. I can acknowledge that she might not be her best self right now, but she went through a lot. I admire her for sticking with it. Like if that season where they poured Coke on her and were like, nobody likes you. She's like, horses like me. Like she really was an authentic person when she started, and whatever she is now is something. And I'll always believe in her and have faith in her and root for her, even if she sort of sucks. I think she'll come out the other end, hopefully.
I wonder what her comeback story will be. If she comes back on the show, how will she be? How will she act? What will she do? How will she perform? It's going to be very interesting if she ever comes back to the challenge. I definitely want to see it. To love her, to hate her, I want to see it, Pam.
Yeah. So, yeah. I want to see
it, Pam.
Hopefully this time is good for her, this like time off.
Yeah. You all know my number one. You can say it at the same time if you like. You know, Jenna, right? Yeah.
Me too. What?
Wes.
Yes. Wes is my number one.
Damn.
If people say that Bananas is the challenge, but Bananas' rivalry with Wes is, to me, the challenge. So I have to put Wes up there. And I feel like people like to pick sides. Do you like Bananas? Do you like Wes? Wes was my guy. So he was a great performer, better back in the day than he is now. But the competition, whatever you want to say, the politicking, people know Wes's game now, whatever. But the way that he would, politic his game and kind of line up his stuff, like you talked about Cam with her one master plan. Wes does that on a daily basis as far as I'm concerned for the challenge. He's always up to that stuff. He's great at scheming. He's great on the dailies. He's great at eliminations. He's great on the finals. Wes is my guy. So that's who I'm going with in my number one. And that's it. That's all I got to say about it.
This was fun. I like it. I want to do more theme rankings.
Yeah, Pam and I had a blast last week doing All-Stars, our All-Star 2 picks. That was so much fun. This one was so much fun. And I really think that in a couple weeks, I'm on vacation next week, but if we do decide to come back either in a couple weeks or just next week, whatever, I think we should do villains. I think villains would be really fun because I think we'd all have different villains, but also I want to get people in the comment section to give us ideas too. So please tell us what you want us to do. Because we love ideas. It makes it easy for us to pick.
Yeah, villains could be interesting.
Yeah.
We can even just do our top 3 villains if we think that we don't have enough for 5. But
villainous moments. Like we can come up with the best villain
for
moment.
that. Yeah, I think that there's a lot to pick from, obviously.
Yeah, something involving villains though.
Yeah, could be really fun. All right.
All right.
Any other final thoughts on our list? I think we all did a great job. We only had a couple overlaps. We had Jarrell overlapped and Pam and you and I had one. Oh, CT overlap.
Jordan
and
Jordan overlap.
And Jordan, yeah. But I kind of figured, I thought a lot of our top 5 were going to be more similar than they were.
Yeah, me too. I liked everybody's too.
I love our variety. I thought the variety was what we want to go for. It just happened naturally. So it was really nice to see. Yep.
And I want to just say thank you so much to our people that are on Patreon that are still with us and listening. We want to hear from you, your suggestions. We really super appreciate you being with us in this off season. It's awesome. And thanks.
Yeah, take that, Mom, because my mom still does not pay to watch. Can somebody buy my mom?
Have Mom watch the first 10 minutes on YouTube. There you go.
Someone just in the comment section, maybe you could throw my mom a few bucks because clearly she just doesn't want to support her daughter. So
literally $1 will do it. $1,
like $1, Mom. Come on.
And we put up at least 4 videos a month, so you're literally paying 25 cents a video. So look at it that way. What a deal! What a deal!
It's a steal.
Hashtag it's a steal. If you're still watching right now.
And spread the word. We'd love that if you guys can, share the word to all your people and stuff. Yeah. That'd be great. Like, subscribe, smash that subscribe button.
And like Dan said earlier, give us your top 5.
Yeah, we want to know your top 5. And then also, there's a chance we'll be back next week. If not, we'll be back in 2 weeks, and we will see you then for sure, guaranteed.
All right.
That'll be July 5th.
Wow.
Or July 6th.
Yeah, sure. We'll be back then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
All right. Anyways, have a great night, everyone. We'll see you later.
Bye.